everybody, it's Natasha Fetter again here with Creative Memories, independent consultant. Absolutely love that company, but most of all, I am in love with the Simple Page Kits, so I'm going to show you another one, Your Own Way Simple Page Kit number 8. Once again, we talked about how great it is to have that cutting guide that's super easy and how you get your final layout with how they use the stickers. And then of course that design sketch, right? That shows you the size of your photos so you can have those prepped. I love that. And then of course the coordinating color cardstock that you can get and add to these designs. I really love that because look at this baby blue. I really like how you could really integrate that if you wanted to map more or if you wanted to make like a different journaling box. But look at that rich caramel. I so love that. You can see how they brought that beautiful caramel right across here. And then we have this that is not really pumpkin colored. It's got a beautiful brown and orange hue to it, and I really love the way that looks. And look, they talk about using that tangerine. And of course we got our great new inks that you could use with these, and I love that you can already see the inks that have been put on these pages. And you know, as usual, I'm using my Design Studio here. I really like the way it functions, so you notice I've got it already magnetized up there, and now we're going to put it together. So I'm going to keep my sketch to the side so I can use that. I like to have all my stuff like right near me when I'm designing. So for me, the first thing I think of when I'm designing is, oh, let me look at that design again. I'm gonna build this first because you see how it's lapped underneath it. I don't know about you, but I've done this a bunch where I won't pay attention to some of that and I'll put these down first and I'm like, darn it. But that's the great reason for repositionable tape. You can easily change that. So I'm going to start there with 6 and 7 and get those put on first. So you notice 6 is thicker than 7. And so I'm going to get that with my repositionable. If you know anything about me, I love my adhesives. I've been a CM girl since before my son was born, and he's 25 now. Nope. Oh dear, I pushed too hard. I've done that so many times. Oh, gravy. Yeah, that's why you can really lay it flat when you're doing it, but I really love it angled when I'm doing it. So like I said, my son is 25 and he has definitely been the reason I, so to speak, started scrapbooking, and have so many wonderful pictures. And you're actually going to see them featured on this page. So here's my layouts. Done. Boop. The borders are there already. Now I'm going to take those border lines. Now you could measure and figure out how high. A lot of times I like to eyeball it. I love that the sketch doesn't tell you where to put it. So you can see looking at the sketch, it kind of shows where to put those. And to me, that looks like maybe 1.5 inches, and you can see it. There's a little lighter piece and then a darker piece here, and then it goes into that lighter. That looks like about where they put it, so that's really up 1, 2, 3 inches up, which is what I love also about these being lined up. I'm never crooked. Getting things straight is not always easy, but I'm going to go with right at the 9 and then across to that 3 so I can get my papers straight, because lining up things is not as easy. Some people have the gift, and I simply need a ruler. I don't know about you, but I am a ruler girl, needing that stuff, needing help with that. My husband is construction and he can just eyeball stuff, and my mom was the same way, or is the same way, excuse me. She can eyeball things too like that. I have never been able to do that. Just cracks me up. Now for me, I'm going to do this next. I'm not going to put my mats on next. I'm going to put these beautiful sticker borders on. Look how pretty these are. I love them. It reminds me of my husband's Native American background that he has in him as well. I believe he's Blackfoot, and I always try to make it feet, and I know it's foot. But I love the way these look, and I love how the designer of these pages used this and lined it up with that other border. So now I got a beautiful straight line again. And again, I warned you that I tend to be naughty and don't get things straight every time. But look how beautiful that looks against that. I'm just so in love with that. Now they have their designs going straight across. So my next one will also go this way. So they don't face each other. But of course, if you were like, I want these to face each other so that the arrows touch, you could do that. Or you could have had them pointing out. You could do this and point them this way. Some people love that on a page. It looks like the designer of this page made it go like that. And it says this way or that. And so I'm going to actually reverse mine and put it so they face each other because of the titles they added this way or that. And in just a minute, you'll see the pictures I chose to go with this page. But look how beautiful that just, oh, that pop of blue. And again, they said that cardstock was the baby blue. And it's just so pretty. Every time I think of baby blue, I just don't go, oh my gosh, it's amazing. All right, so you saw me lay that down. And now I'm going to put one of these beautiful swirls. I don't know about you, but those always seem to get stuck in there. So please check. I don't know if you're like me, but sometimes I've done that and then realized I've left it on enough to try to pull it off. And I always laugh at myself because I'm like, why did you do that? You knew better. So I'm going to line it up right about here so it's capturing some of that brown in it. Yeah, I love the way that looks. Yeah, I love how it captures that space in there. And then there's the other one. And as I'm looking at it, you saw it did the same thing to me again. I always seem to manage to not get one to come off like I should. Now, you notice they put theirs under the items. And of course, you saw me lay my stickers down. So I've got to make a decision on, am I going to lay it over it or am I going to peel that up and do what they did? Let's see how easy it would be for me to peel up. Otherwise, I'm going to have to make do. Oh, look how nice that is with that repositionable coming up so easily. Oh, it worked out so well. Again, love that repositionable for a reason. So there it is. I can tuck it underneath and it hides. Now I can give everything a gentle little push. You notice I'm not really pushing hard because of exactly that reason. You make a mistake, it's easier to fix, right? All right, so I'm going to show you the beautiful frames have this beautiful like scalloped look on them. I've already cut mine apart and you can see that's the journaling blocks, but look how beautiful that is with that beautiful golden color. Love that. It reminds me of the celestial design work we had from before. So you're going to see my son being featured on these pages. Love that so much. So here's a picture. I love how it brought out the his uniform really stood out in these photos. And I'm just kind of eyeballing where I want that. Like, yeah, that looks really good. Maybe I'll bring it down a pinch. Yeah, I'm going to bring it down a pinch. And I love to do that, especially with the repositionable. So that was the day he got, what do you call it? Where they take their oath. That's the words, when they take their oath. And that's his sweet girlfriend, whom we absolutely adore. And now you saw me trying to eyeball it, and you know what I told you from the last time. I do not do that well. So I'm going to pull that ruler out and make sure, look at that crazy crookedness there. I'm going to line that up so I get a little edge on that. There we go. You see how I'm using that to make sure I get about the same on both sides, and then I can place that. There we go. All right, so this is again the day that he got took his oath at one of our local police departments. Super proud of him for his mission. And then when he this was officially his last day as they moved states and went to another state, so he had to leave that department. That was very sad for me that he was moving far away, but you know, that was kind of like the reminder, great beginnings and then the ending. And the reason I chose that is because of these cute little tags, this way and that. So this way is where he started, and that way is where his career is taking him on a different path in another state, making new adventures for themselves. And I love that for them. Super happy. Anyway, I'm going to get this stuck down and you can see, here's this way. And you notice I have these kind of pre-done already. They took me a little minute or two to get them all printed and put on there. But again, not long. And I'll have captured this moment. And I love how they did this. My inclination is to go right up here and make a match, but that doesn't always really draw the eye. And I have to remember it doesn't have to always be perfectly symmetrical. I don't know if you're like me, but that tends to be one of my issues, is I tend to want to do that, is make everything symmetrical, and we need to not do as much of that. Yes, we need to have groupings. And look how beautiful that journal box is going to be right there, where I'm going to write about that journey, so it will always be in our books. And there's the wonderful group of men and women that serve in that department, the new ones, and the ones that were there, like the chief and such. I love that. Just a great way to remember those wonderful folks that supported him while he was there. Definitely a good feeling. So now I'm just adding some of my stickers to capture it, so it's kind of a nod to law enforcement without being over the top. And you notice that I did pop dots on these as you're looking at these. I pop dotted them even though they were stickers, and I turned them into embellishments by using our CM powder. I don't know about you, but I've loved this since it came out. Putting the pop dots on, then powdering them, just makes my heart so happy. It's just one of my go-to tools, and I keep it right in front of me for that exact reason. Here's another sticker that I did the same thing to. It says Chasing Adventures, and I truly feel like in my heart, this was a huge adventure for him. Every day is a new challenge. I'm sure good days and bad, like most people have at work. Proud of the work that they do, those officers, and glad to be along military family ourselves. Just super happy, and you notice I'm just filling up some of those spaces, drawing that eye so you get that triangular effect. Now you notice we went from here to here, and I'm going to draw our eye back here by putting some of these stickers again. So there's some more being added. So, you know, your eye is following those beautiful stars with the blue hues in them. And you know what? I'm going to add one down here so you're drawn to it as well. Now, I tend to be a girl who loves her stickers. So I told you that last time. I live for them. So you're going to find that I use every single sticker sheet. Anyway, I hope you loved it. I'm going to journal about this adventure of his because I truly feel that way. And hopefully you'll have fun building your simple page kits. Please remember to follow me on Facebook and subscribe on YouTube. And you'll get to see more of our life as I fill in the pictures, but mostly just about getting memories on pages and capturing the story, because this is a story I want to tell. So have a magical rest of your day. Keep making those magical memories with your family. Simple ones are great. Really life-changing ones are super important too. And just capture them all. All right, have a great one and talk to you soon. Bye.